Hello. Welcome back. I'm still trying to get set up. Here we go. It's pretty dark in here, although I've got the light glaring at me. That's winter for you. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Welcome back to our weekly live stream. If this is your first time watching this weekly live stream, I do this every week, as the name says, or most weeks at least. And so far it's Mondays. I do have a few questions for those of you watching, because you get a say in how this might change in the future. And this is really an opportunity for me to share what's alive, share a little message or a little nugget for you. And it's also an opportunity for you to connect with me, ask me any questions that you may have, anything that's happening in your life that you would like support with, anything that you would like to understand more. So yeah, it's an ask me anything at the same time as well. If you're completely new to my channel, by the way, welcome. My name is Lorena. I'm a self-concept coach, and I support women to shift their self-concept, their identity, essentially embody a new state of being and manifest what they truly desire in life. So if that sounds good to you and you want more content like this, then make sure you subscribe and you stick around. So before I get into what's kind of happening, or like what the message for today is, I'm a bit all over the place. I don't know. I think it's because maybe it's the freaking full moon. It's messing with my brain. And maybe it's also because I had a freaking busy weekend. My family was visiting, which was really nice. I don't see them very often, so that was lovely. But if anybody knows what it's like, if you don't live with family or like your family is near you, it's always fun to have them visit. And it's also, you kind of need a holiday after, because it just like drains your energy to be around people so much. At least that's me. I'm an introvert at heart. Anyways, before I get into the topic, what I wanted to ask you, so I would really appreciate any comments, whether you're here live or whether you're watching the replay of this. I have been thinking about going forward 3 videos per week, which is kind of insane. Three videos per week here on YouTube. So right now I post like a longer form video every Friday. I also do shorts regularly, but that's not scheduled. That's as and when. So that's the regular Friday video. And then I started doing these lives here on Mondays, which I do most Mondays. So that's been added on. And I just had the thought the other day that I would really like to maybe do like a mini message midweek, sort of like a midweek message. So that would be like a short and sweet video that's kind of one reminder or one message, something that you might need to hear. So that's just an idea that came to me. And I don't know when I would start it from, maybe just next year, maybe in January. I'll see, what my schedule looks like. But what I wanted to ask you, if we have one live stream per week, one short message video per week as a reminder, and then one long form video per week, what days would you prefer the live stream versus the short message? So right now the live streams are on Mondays, and I am kind of assuming that Mondays are maybe not the best days for most people, because people are working. And so I've been thinking about maybe doing the live stream on Wednesday instead of Monday, and doing the short message sort of as like a Monday message, start of the week message. So you can kick off the week with a little reminder on your journey, feel motivated to kind of get going with your week. Let me know. I would really appreciate any feedback to see what resonates more with you, whether you want to be here live on Mondays or on Wednesdays. So yeah, that's my request for you, and that's the little update that I've been thinking about. And now I'm going to take a sip of water and get into the topic that has just been sitting with me. And that is basically, I want to talk about the state of wanting or longing or yearning, which I think in the manifestation community, it's often kind of shunned, right? Like, you're not supposed to be in a state of wanting, you're supposed to be in a state of being, in a state of having, live as if it's already done. And that's very true, right? Like, things manifest for you when you feel the reality of it, or it feels natural to you. There's no resistance to that reality that you wish to call in. And so it is kind of key to get into a state of having, a state of being, essentially. But because of that, often in the manifestation world, right, it's like said, you shouldn't want it. You shouldn't want the thing, because the moment you want it, and a lot of Neville Goddard's messages are like this, right? Like, don't be in a state of wanting or longing, because if that's the state you're in, it's not going to manifest. But the truth is, I find the state of wanting, the state of longing, the state of yearning extremely powerful. And it's also normal for humans, right? Like, as humans, we have desires innate in us. We are the only species, really, that has a drive for self-actualization, that wants to become better, that wants more than to just survive. And that's pretty powerful. That's pretty amazing. And with that comes this sensation of longing and yearning. And, I think that shouldn't be shunned. That's actually really, really beautiful. And the thing is also, it's part of the human condition. You're always in a state of longing or wanting. It's part of the human condition. It's part of being a human. And the secret really is to alchemize that state of longing into the embodiment, into the state of being, into the state of having, into sort of the end result, if that's what you want to call it. And that's really where most people struggle. It's like there's this resistance to even want something, because, oh, if I want it, then it means I'm not in a state of being, in a state of having. But whilst that's true, really the secret here is to not be impatient, because it's only if we want this instant gratification, and if we want everything now, that you come up against a problem here. For example, when I have a new desire come through, right? Let's say, like, I wake up one morning and I'm like, okay, like, there's something new in my system that I really want to manifest. I don't immediately think, oh my God, now that I want it, I need to immediately get into a state of being and I need to assume it's done. I am okay with being in a state of longing and yearning for a freaking while. And I know that whilst I'm in this state of longing and yearning, it's not going to come in. I know that. And I'm okay with that, because I would rather do this sustainably over a longer period of time. And I'm talking, as you may be able to imagine, about bigger desires here. I'm not talking about manifesting a free cup of coffee or something. I'm talking about the things that have more of an emotional charge attached to them. And ultimately, that's what I help people with, right? Like, I don't do basic manifestation stuff. If you're new here, you might not know this. If you've been here for a while, you're probably aware of this. I don't really do work, and my coaching isn't oriented around cute little visualization techniques. And that's simply because that's really simple, right? And that's, you know how to meditate, or you can learn how to meditate, you can journal around things, you can do the little techniques, and that's fun. And it's going to help you manifest the small things that you don't have resistance to, and where you don't have a history of trauma, and you don't have an emotional charge attached to it. I really help with the deeper things that require reprogramming, that require deeper work, because otherwise you don't really need that help. So I'm okay with that taking time. I'm okay with like these bigger desires, you know, requiring the deeper work, requiring the reprogramming, requiring to, dive into the subconscious. And before that happens, I'm in a state of longing and I'm in a state of wanting, and I'm not in a state of having or being. And that's cool. And I think most people struggle truly because there's the sense of impatience and, I want it now. And why can I not get there? Why am I not feeling it to be done yet? And also once because they kind of get stuck in the state of longing and yearning, right? Like they never move out of it. So after a certain while, like the process needs to start immediately, even though you're not immediately from a state of wanting in a state of longing. The progress or the process of shifting from one to the other, you want to start that kind of right away, but you don't want to be in a state of being impatient and having to be at the end right away, because you don't have to. In fact, if it's like more emotionally charged things, pretty much impossible, and you're actually going to keep yourself more in resistance than anything else if you try to move to an end result that doesn't yet feel true and real to you. So when you don't know how to alchemize the longing into the being, the wanting into the having, when you don't know how to alchemize that, and when I say the word alchemize, what I mean is transmute, right? You take that energy and that state and that feeling of, oh, I want this so much, and you transform it into being. You use it efficiently and productively in order to alchemize one into the other. That is where, when you don't know how to do that, or when you kind of get stuck in that longing, that's when you can keep yourself in a cycle. When you might hit a wall, when you get stuck in that state of waiting for change, when you might sit around and hope and be in wishful thinking and nothing ever transpires. And I wanted to speak to this so much because I often see different patterns in people, because I speak to a lot of people in my Instagram DMs every day. Which, by the way, if you have never messaged me there, feel free to do so. My DMs are always open, and I love connecting with you all. But if you are, there's like the pattern of someone trying to manifest something for many, many months, or sometimes even years, and kind of being in that illusion of just having to wait for it. Like it's done. They tell themselves it's done, but they don't feel it to be done, because it's an energetic state that you have to feel. It's not about thinking of it, right? Neville Goddard speaks about the difference between thinking of it and thinking from it. Thinking from it means you are in the state of it's done. And a lot of people keep themselves in the illusion of thinking they're in a state of it's done when they're actually not. So now you're in a state of waiting. Now you're in a state of hoping, wishing, and, hoping that something will be delivered to you on a silver platter. And the consequence of that is heartbreaking to me, because it means that you're going to be stuck in this state and nothing ever happens. And then there's people who are trying to push and force, and it can't go quick enough, and it can't be fast enough, right? And then you're in a state of massive resistance, and you're actually not receptive to the very thing you want. So there's like a process of alchemy here that needs to happen too. And then the third group of people are the people who are kind of settling. They either think it's not possible, I'm going to give up, or they live in this euphemism. They're like, oh, things are good enough as they are, which they're always good enough as they are, right? Like if you're here watching this, you probably don't have the worst life, at least, in terms of your tangible needs are probably met. I mean, I don't know you, but that's what I'm assuming if you have a digital electronic device to watch this from. But just because things are good enough or good as they are doesn't mean we can't want more. I think too many people are settling for so much less than what they truly want, just because, they either don't think it's possible, or there's a fear of judgment. uh, or a fear of failure as well, very common as well. I was in that for a very long time. Um, or a fear of even the process, because a lot of these, depending on what you're working on manifesting or what you're working on shifting into energetically with your state, it's probably hard work, right? I was just thinking the other day whilst I was with my family, because a lot of people, like coaching is becoming so popular, and a lot of people now want to start their own business, be that a coaching business or something else. And it's almost becoming this trend. And I was always the opposite. I never wanted to do this, not because I didn't enjoy the process of coaching, but because I didn't actually want to be a business owner, because I observed my parents kind of, I don't want to say struggling, but they were always stressed, right? And my dad has his own business as well. And I saw how much stress he was under all the time. And I was like, I don't want that. I'm going to go work for somebody else. And, but truly that came just from a resistance of moving through the process, not because I didn't actually want to build something for myself, because truly, like, I feel like I'm made for this. I'm really good at it. And so it's about being really honest with yourself about where you're at, and acting from that place, and being okay with where you're at, and honoring that, and taking the necessary action steps to move to the next stage, and you know and make progress on your journey. So yeah, that is my main message for the day. Do let me know in the comments what you think about the live stream and message question, right? Like which day you prefer, Monday or Wednesday. And I also wanted to remind you, if you haven't seen this yet, I created a free quiz. It's called the Self-Concept Alignment Quiz, and it's basically a quiz that will teach you, or like show you where your blind spot may be on your self-concept journey, on your manifestation journey, because a lot of people approach manifestation from more of a one-sided perspective, right? They might either be very much in their, working on their mindset, but there's no energetic shift that happens, or they're only focused on embodiment, or they're only focused on, like healing their heart and being in this place of, having loads and loads of therapy, but never actually taking action. There's a lot of elements to it. And I created a while ago this framework, which I call the Holistic Manifestation Pillars. And I created a quiz with it. So you can find out where your blind spot may be. I'm going to link it below in the description, and also in a comment. And it's not going to be up for much longer, so take it as soon as you see this. If the link's still there and still working, you'll still have access to it. And depending on your outcome, on your result, you receive a free practice as well. So that practice is tailored towards the stage where you are at on your journey according to your quiz results. So it's quite fun and entertaining. It only takes a few minutes to do. And if you take it, then please send me a DM on Instagram and let me know what your result is, or just comment it here if you like. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.